You know by now, if you've been watching my channel for some time, that I love Salerno. And one of the reasons I love Salerno so much is for how well connected a city it is, including its close proximity to the Amalfi coast. Now, from Salerno, you can reach Amalfi itself in around 35 minutes by boat. Boat travel to the Amalfi is, I believe, one of the best ways for you to explore this particular part of Italy, because take it from me, the Amalfi Drive isn't for everybody. And so in today's video, we are heading to Amalfi. Now, of course, it's not just the beauty of Amalfi that I want to share with you in today's video, but also I want to unpack the reality of Amalfi and share the real deal about this part of Italy, because I truly believe that if you come to Amalfi, you kind of need to know what you're letting yourself in for. Amalfi is an iconic slice of Italy, portrayed in many films and romanticised through many different generations. It's no wonder that this is a bucket list holiday destination for so many people. But there's something I think you need to know, and that is Amalfi is not real Italy. It almost feels blasphemous to say this, but having lived in South Italy for 6 years, I can confidently say, hand on heart, that you are very much in the Las Vegas of Italy when you visit Amalfi. Now, of course, I'm not comparing it to Las Vegas for the gambling or the casinos, but I am making that comparison because just like Las Vegas is the playground for the rich and famous in America, Amalfi is that for the rich and famous here in Italy. It depends so much on tourism and on tourists that essentially, at times, it loses its authenticity. The first thing you need to be aware of when you visit Amalfi is that prices are heavily inflated. You will find plenty of bars in the centre of Amalfi with beautiful views. And you may think it's the perfect place to stop for a quick coffee, fairly inexpensive at that. But you'd be wrong. The average price of an espresso here in Amalfi is no less than €3. And the cappuccino that I ordered from this particular bar cost me €5 with no water, no cocoa, and a chipped saucer. So essentially, you don't always get the best value for money here. You are paying purely for the location. The next thing to be aware of concerns the many beautiful shops that adorn the little paths and passages of Amalfi itself. There are many beautiful independent traders selling lemon-related produce, limoncello, and the many other food and typical items Amalfi is famous for. Do your research, because a lot of these shops sell similar items, and you can find the same item a couple of euros less a couple of shops away. So don't necessarily buy the first thing that you see. Shop around before deciding upon your souvenirs, and try to go to the shops that have more of an authentic feel to them. There are some shops in Amalfi that sell a bit of everything, and those kinds of shops, in all honesty, are not as authentic as they may appear. Something else to consider are the sheer number of tourists that visit Amalfi. This is April and there were so many tourists, I was surprised. This will only continue to increase as the summer season kicks into full gear. And so you have to brace yourself for the number of people that you will encounter here in Amalfi. This is going to impact your choice of where to eat, because of course places are going to get booked up. It's also going to just generally mean that you're going to be fighting for your space in a way to get good photographs, and you're going to be battling your way through the crowds. This is the reality of Amalfi, and it's something that you need to be prepared for. Now, when it comes to lunch and dinner, you're probably going to guess what I'm about to say. If the price of coffee is inflated, so too is the food. Do your research, wander off the beaten track. This particular restaurant was really reasonable considering its location, but it was off the beaten track. The cost of an average margarita in Amalfi is €11, and I'm sorry, but I refuse to pay €11 for a margarita that is only €5 in Salerno, which is 30 minutes away. It's extortionate. Yet this spaghetti dish with lemon only cost €12, which actually isn't too bad for Amalfi. So do your research. Don't just eat at the first place that you see. Now, the real magic of Amalfi is found in the upper parts of this town. You'll find that a lot of tourists stay in the lower part of Amalfi, where the shops and restaurants are and where the sea is. But if you start to explore a little bit and climb up into the upper parts of Amalfi, there is where I feel you get a real sense of what Amalfi is like. And there too is the museum where paper is made in Amalfi. Now, I have to tell you, I'm very ashamed to admit this, but I never knew about this museum for the whole time that I lived in Salerno. And I also didn't know the rich history that Amalfi has when it comes to making paper. So I learned a lot on my trip back to Amalfi. And I would suggest that visiting this particular shop, which has many different beautiful handmade Amalfi paper pieces, is a must-see in Amalfi. And it's not very busy because a lot of people don't venture this far up. Now, the Paper Museum is a fantastic place to visit, and it taught me so much about the rich history of paper production here in Amalfi. Not only do you get to see the old equipment and learn about the history of papermaking here, but also you get to witness how they used to make paper with like a pulp type liquid, how it used to dry, and it had the ingrained markings that is typical of the paper here from Amalfi. And you also get to have a go at producing paper yourself. So it was a truly wonderful experience that I highly recommend. Amalfi for me is a bit of a balance. I think it's definitely somewhere that you should visit in your lifetime just to say that you've done it and to experience it. But I really do feel you need to keep an open mind. Please don't believe that this is real life in South Italy, because it isn't. It is a particular way of life for the people who visit that part of Italy. Of course, people live in Amalfi, but their lives are very different compared to what you'll experience as a tourist. So I feel it's always really good to keep an open mind about these kinds of things, but also just to remember that Italy is a very multifaceted, diverse country. No two regions are the same. No two cities or towns are the same. And I really do encourage you to explore other parts of Italy more off the beaten track, just to really give you a sense of what Italy is like.